Hi, this is Dana. On this channel, I speak about Gnostic spirituality, and you have the rest of the description down below in the box down below. In this video, God asked me to talk about how you bounce back, basically. He just told me as I woke up, he said, talk about how you bounce back. Because there are people who don't really know how to do this, or sometimes God showed me they don't dare to do this, or it doesn't cross their mind. Like they make a mistake and then they go the same way just because they don't know the way back. This is what God has shown to me. To me, basically, bouncing back is very easy. Not that it's easy to do it. I mean, to me, it's easy, but maybe not to everyone. But the easy way sometimes is not obvious. The easy way is to know that God has your back. God has always a plan. It is from my own experience to say that even if God gave a guidance, because it's also confusing. It's not clear-cut planning in this spiritual fighting, because God might have a plan and He might give you a guidance, but it could be that your guidance is tempered with. So there are watcher spirits who interfere and try to steal the communication with the divine to lead you astray and give you fake guidance. It could be that you misunderstand the guidance, which happened to me as well at times. I didn't fully understand exactly what God meant, and I made a mistake. So, but it's easy to bounce back, or even let me finish this. The third option is that God gave you a guidance, you understand it correctly, you followed the guidance, and still the outcome is wrong. And then you get angry, and it happened to me, and I was like, I did everything you said, why is this so? And the easy answer is that God gives you guidance according to that particular moment, how the situation looks like in that particular moment, what is the way out or way forward in that particular moment. However, there are many other individuals involved, and if other individuals make wrong choices, they change that, and this can happen in a second. And if you're not in an observant space, and you don't look for guidance after that, and you just go on and on implementing the previous guidance, you don't know that things changed. And then you think you go the right way according to the guidance and the planning, but since everything changed, what used to be the right way 5 minutes ago, it becomes the wrong way now. You understand my message? So it happened to me this, and God showed me, yes, I did tell you this. I did tell you to do this, but this other one, meanwhile, decided to do the wrong thing this way. And it changed the entire perspective, the entire situation, and what you were supposed to be doing. But you didn't ask guidance again. You didn't stay in silent meditation to receive guidance, because you thought you know what to do, because you had the guidance already. So you focused on implementing, but although you were implementing the right guidance, you are still going the wrong way because somebody changed the entire situation. Yeah. So there are so many ways in which a situation can change. There are also limits. For example, God would tell me, this one betrayed you, you need to cut him off, you don't give him undeserved forgiveness. And I would make the affirmations, and God will show to me, yes, you did all the right things. Unfortunately, somebody, because of bondages and because of technology, somebody manipulated your energy. So they created in your space so much different type of energy, darkness basically, in order to make sure that there is no match between your rational thought and your emotion energy. Hence, you rationally didn't give him undeserved forgiveness, but you did not succeed energetically to cut off all the darkness sent to you, which was particularly to send undeserved forgiveness, to make you feel sorry for that one, to make you feel it's not that bad what he did, or stuff like this, you know. All of these nuances of emotion tamper with your willpower of cutting off someone. Okay, and then that means basically that you did not succeed to successfully cut him off. Yeah, so sometimes this is very important part of your spiritual fighting. It pertains of healing and bondage breaking, because if you have bondage, then they can attach certain entities on your energy and manipulate your energy, and hence you don't have a good control of the energy in order to, as I said in the previous video, to succeed to do integration, oneness, integration of rational with emotional, integration of soul with spirit. Then you do not reflect correctly from energetic perspective the rational decision which you made. This is very important part of your spiritual existence. And this is part of the ascension, part of the philosophy of the ascension. You ascend when you integrate all dimensions correctly, from all perspectives, energy and thought, soul and spirit. Yeah. So there are many ways in which things can go wrong. It's not always because you made on purpose a mistake, or that sometimes it was, sometimes you were manipulated in doing that, sometimes it was your immaturity to understand how you should react to a certain situation or certain individual. And I said this in one of my prophetic writings. If somebody betrays you repeatedly, sometimes God will take you through that betrayal many times, until you master and you lose enough in material existence in order to learn to successfully cut somebody off. Namely, to match your energy with your rational thought, and to clearly cut that individual off, and not give them not only undeserved forgiveness, but any kind of empathy, because that is not deserved as well. And empathy tampers with your standing strong in your decision to cut somebody off. This is very important to understand. Yeah. So all of these play out in your spiritual existence. Yeah. And this can lead you astray. This, of course, is known by those who work with darkness. They know how to create that. They do it at dream state. So when you wake up, usually you should check your energy in order to make sure that the dreams they projected on you did not alter your control of your energy, did not squeeze in emotions which are not yours and are not beneficial to you, literally tampering with the decisions you made. This also, of course, is part of the manifestation. They do this in order for you not to be able to manifest correctly, because you manifest rationally, but then if the emotion doesn't stand strong on that, then manifesting is part of is founded on your belief that that will come true, or your belief that that will come true can be tampered with through emotions like fear, being fearful that it doesn't come true, or even thinking, oh, it's not going to be a big deal that if it doesn't come through, or so many other ways. You know, these are nuances of emotions which are important to understand, that they literally downgrade your manifestation power. Yeah, this is very important. And as you advance in spiritual fighting, it becomes harder and harder, because they send more and more darkness, and something that you were able to manifest easily 2 years ago, now it's very difficult to manifest, just because you're at a higher level, you're more sensitive, hence it's much easier for them to send darkness to you. The more you advance spiritually, the more sensitive you are. This is, I believe, known. Anyhow, how you bounce back, yeah, from all of this? Simply knowing that God will come through. turning to God, praying, immediately going in silent meditation and observer position to observe your energy, to observe what was done, to receive divine guidance, silencing your mind, cutting off all everything that would alter your focus. Yeah, that silencing your mind is very important because thoughts carry emotion. So if you allow levitation or even just noise around you to bring different thoughts in your mind, literally they alter your emotions. So also your focus and your ability to receive divine guidance. Yeah. Every individual should have their own ways of dialogue with God. This is important, and as you go along and you learn all these tricks, you should have your own tricks in checking up the guidance you receive. Just to make sure that it's the right guidance. I said this before. I always have trick questions to which I know the clear answer which God would give. And I ask those questions in between the real question which I'm concerned of, to make sure that I'm still receiving the guidance from divine, and it's not some trickster spirit which tries to lead me astray. This is important. But you should develop your own. So I'm not going to give examples in this. Bouncing back means to know in your heart that God will receive you back no matter what mistake you made, and always the safest way is to go back to God and to do redemption. Redemption, it should be doing right by the person you have done wrong. If it's not possible for you to do that, do a good deed. Just do a good deed to someone. Make sure you don't do a good deed to your enemies, and that's important. But do a good deed. And still, that's part of your redemption. Ask God, what will redeem me from this? What can I do so I can redeem myself from this? Redeeming doesn't necessarily mean that you have done something wrong. It could be a mistake, or it could be a setup and you fell into a trap. It could be simply that a bondage was created on you and you're leaving the bondage. I'll give you an example. God says, give an example. For example, they put an embodiment, fake embodiment on you that you're a criminal, let's say, yeah? And you just don't know it because it's a ritual done with spirits which you don't know that was done on you. And you observe that you take certain actions which are not yours. And for example, at one point, that embodiment brings to your mind the thought of murder, to kill someone. Yeah. If you don't stop to think, am I doing the right thing? Is this divine guidance? Is this okay? Then you will leave that embodiment, because that those entities are in your energy, even though you didn't do something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Somebody did a fake embodiment on you and attached certain spirits to you to push you to do something. Now the only thing you have to do is to push those spirits out, to say, no, this is the wrong thing to do. This cannot come from God. This cannot be me. Okay? And then you cut them off and you break the bondage without even know what's the bondage. Yeah? Just making the right choice breaks the bondage without you even knowing. But if you don't do it, then you leave the bondage. Namely, you do become a criminal. Okay? This is what means leaving the bondage. You do become what they want you to make of you. Because you don't stop to think critically. Is this something that I want to do? Is this something that God would want me to do? Is this the right thing to do? Okay, that person did me wrong, but is this the right answer to that? So just by doing this, you bounce back. Just by critical thinking. Then asking divine guidance and receiving it, managing your energy, you receive divine guidance, and then you can redeem yourself by doing whatever you're guided to be doing. So you get out of it. This can happen many times during a day when, again, when you're under attack, they will send a lot of things to you, which were not foreseen in the morning, but then at lunchtime it's already happening to you and you didn't know, and you didn't receive guidance ahead of time. Sometimes God will not warn you because it's a test. So you're supposed to pass a threshold, to move in a higher position, to elevate. Yeah, but to do this, one of the rules of astral is that you have to be tested, that you're deserving of it. Hence, God cannot warn you, cannot talk to you normally like He would give you divine guidance normally, but He will squeeze in some hints to show to you that you're. I'll give you an example. The easiest way to know that you're under test is when God is silent, when God doesn't answer anything, when God doesn't say anything. To me, because I have certain gifts and I feel God, then I also know His energy when I'm under test, because I know He's very still and very observant of me, and like a professor, yeah, during test. So I know, okay, now I'm under test because of God's energy. I know this. So then what's the test? What I have to pass? What I have to do? But if you don't have this gift and you don't know this, just not receiving any guidance, know that you're under test. And then you can pray. For example, I'll teach you another trick. If I'm under test, I ask certain ancestors. Jesus, of course, because He's my guardian, my guardian in spiritual realm. So I asked Him, I asked somebody else, and He can. He can, because you have different relation to Him. So He can. Jesus can tell me, for example, things when God doesn't tell me. And He can come to me while I'm under test. I was under surprise attack at some point in 2019. And I remember I couldn't understand anything, what was going on. And there was such a sudden, huge darkness attack with spirits and stuff. And I was like, literally, I knew that I'm supposed to stay still and no emotions and no stuff. But literally, I just broke down in crying. And I was like, what is this? What the heck is going on? I did everything right. Why is this happening again? Why? And Jesus came to me and He said, you just sit in silence now. You know, meaning He was suggesting to this, you're under attack, you're under test. Don't talk, don't hold emotions, you know. So he cannot tell you exactly you're under test, but He will tell you something. So this is why it's important, you know, your ancestors who protect you and help you, and you have to work with them always. Your ancestors from the divine realm. Keep in mind that you might have ancestors also on the side of darkness. So make sure you call on the right ancestors to help you. But bouncing back again, it's easy. First of all, just knowing that you can bounce back, knowing that the divine will take you out of that situation. The divine, okay, the darkness created a surprise attack or some sort of darkness attack which alters a situation, yeah. But keep in mind, the divine realm can do that too. So, okay, you change this. Hold on. He's with us. We can change it too. Yeah, this is true. And one of the important things to learn is that God is very strategic in the way He fights, and He's always adapting the strategy. He's always adapting and changing. Oh, you did this to my girl? Okay, let me show you now. And He will change His strategy, and He will adjust in such a way in order to take you out of that situation and to make you a winner. And many times, most times actually, if they do more harm to you, illegitimate attempt to stop you from receiving your rewards, God will reward you even more, just to teach them a lesson, not to do this again, and to respect the divine will. Yeah. So knowing that you always you can bounce back from anything, I would suggest that just knowing that God is there, He will help you. You just need to get quiet, get in a silent meditation. You have the silent meditation on my channel. Getting divine guidance, how to get out of this, even if it's something that you did not expect, or something that was not explained to you or guided to you by God. You will still receive help. Even so, even if you made a mistake, even if it was your own fault of making a mistake, God will still help you. But you have to go to God, and this is important. God is pointing to me. You have to tell this without any ego or doubt that God will help you. Okay? You have to go to Him very open-heartedly, with strong faith. God will help me. And I said in another video, to me, it's like even if I make a mistake, God can judge me. I cannot, I won't have any problem with God telling me you did this wrong, so for this reason, this is your consequence. Okay? I have no problem with that. I have no fear ever of God punishing me for something. So I think that it's important, because that keeps a channel open to you, between you and God. If you fear God, fear is not, fear it's of darkness. So you already bring darkness between you and God. So you limit your connection to God by fearing God. To me, God is love. Now, God can be very harsh and punish you, of course, if you really do evil, harmful thing to others. So sometimes those who actually are intentionally doing harm on others should fear God, of course. But you see, since for me, they can never actually take away something. The fact that for me, the highest, most important thing is to be with God. And this doesn't depend on them. It only depends on God. You see? So this already sets you on a certain position of superiority towards darkness. Because I know God will come. God will show me a way. God will find something. God will do something. Something will happen that will change the situation. And always when you're in doubt and you don't know what to do, silent meditation and observant position is the best way. Trying to, when you say silent meditation, that means no emotions, no thoughts. Remember, yeah? So that means a control over your energy. Even if you do praying in silent meditation, you pray without emotion. Be very careful of that. Because sometimes even through prayer, they can alter your energy, get a hook on you, on that. Because if you pray with, even for example, God showed to me, because you put a lot of love in praying to me, they put a hook on that. So for a long time, I had to exercise indifference when I prayed to God. So I would first ask Jesus, please help me to have a stone heart. No emotions, just no emotions. Hold my emotions, hold my heart still. So even when I was praying to God, I would first ask Jesus to help me to pray the right way, to close that emotional body so they cannot put a hook on it. Yeah. So it's very nuanced again, and bouncing back to me again, it's simple. Just trusting God. Trusting Him that He will help you, trusting Him that He has a plan, trusting Him that He's above all of them. He's just respecting rules, and He's making sure that as you move along and you elevate, you learn lessons and you develop abilities. Because at the next level, you will encounter stronger attacks and more evil situations. And God wants to make sure that you're prepared, you're ready for that. And you actually do have a strong, and also keep in mind, it's one thing to have a hold of your energy when you're focused on that, But when you start, for example, when I start cooking or reading or doing something else, then you don't have a strong hold of your energy. You have to exercise this. God will take you through it to exercise it so many times until it becomes a reflex. And you do it instantly. You see? So God has shown to me this, how when I read, for example, they take a hold of your thoughts or your energy, or when you do something, when you talk with somebody, when you speak on the phone, when technology is involved and electricity is involved, keep in mind that this amplifies the strength of the attack and of the darkness. So when you speak on the phone, you are more likely to be taking over emotions from your interlocutor. If your phone is hooked up at internet and social media, just keep in mind how much dark energy is on that. And all of that gets hooked on you. Just remember, as you elevate, you're more sensitive. Something that wouldn't have bothered you earlier, now you're on a higher energy perspective and more sensitive, so it will affect you now. It will affect you. It will affect you, even the presence in the same room or the same area of somebody with darkness. Even if they're not dark towards you, but just in general. But particularly if they're dark towards you. Yeah. So bouncing back, I think it's very important to remember to have faith, to have no hesitation to go back to God, because sometimes just seconds or minutes are important. Just say, God, please help me. Just say this and believe it with all your heart and soul. And God will help you. And also, not having a ego issue in your relation with God. You know, that's important, because God has shown me, especially about men, that, you know, they will be like, okay, how can I go to God to say that I did this and that? Because you are on the same team. And you're just, he's your father. So you just go like to a parent and say, I did this and that, how I redeem from this, how I get out of this shit. Yeah, redeeming means even if you didn't do something wrong towards another. Redeeming yourself, that means to get out of a situation. There's a lot of a negative connotation put on redemption, particularly so people would be very fearful and reluctant to do redemption. But this is exactly why you don't get to bounce back. Because asking and following divine guidance and doing redemption, that gives you a lot of divine grace. Because redemption, it's about you, but it's also about others. So that's important. So being just with no fear, no concern, no shame, and no ego, because all of this comes from ego. Shame comes from ego. It's like, how could I do such a thing? It's like, you know, I am this and that and that. Well, maybe you're not this and that in this particular situation. And to sum up, I would just describe the entire situation here to help this topic. I would describe it like, imagine that you have been deployed in a war situation, in a combat situation, and you have guidance, instructions, how to get out of there. You don't sit in a combat situation being ashamed to say, look, I sprained my ankle, you know. You just freaking say it, because you need to get out of life alive. Yeah. And of course you need divine guidance. Of course you need to just move along. And even if you have a disappointment, which happens, of course, don't dwell on it. Just don't dwell on it, because this is exactly when they try to hook up to you and to put more darkness on you. Yeah, this is very important. For example, right now, part of my own work, spiritual work and fighting, just revealed to me because this is the spiritual level at which I am above the 3D, where, as I explained, you can see totally different type of forces which were present always, but you didn't see them because you were at a lower level. So at the level where I am right now, I am learning through my spiritual fighting, and God says, and teaching. And yes, I am teaching to the extent to which I receive divine guidance to share information to others about poltergeist. And I just learned these days about a different type of poltergeist, because what I encountered before and I knew is the poltergeist which feeds on soul, on soul energy and soul agony. And now is being revealed to me a totally different type of poltergeist which feeds on heartbreak, on depression, on self-pity, on feeling sorry for yourself, on feeling hopeless, and that there is no way out, no option, that there is no point in moving on. You know, that kind of depression. I don't know the word to describe it in one word. The heartbreak. It's a totally different chakra. Yeah, it's a totally different chakra. And this can be caused through a few events, a few people who betray you, and then lots of levitation, which keeps whispering in your ears all of this shit. And a lot of dark energy which is sent to you in this regard. So you always have to learn as you move along. This is what we are doing, we are learning, and you shouldn't be ashamed of not knowing something or not seeing something, or doing something wrong. You should just, to me, bouncing back, I think, is the most natural thing, because it's easy. It's God. You just say, I did a mistake. Why is this a mistake? Why was I supposed to do? Why I didn't understand it? Yeah, God is pointing out to me to tell you this. I personally ask a lot of questions. I ask a lot of questions, always. In normal life, 3D life, but also with God. Why is this so? Who did this? Why he did this? Who did what to them? Who taught them to do this to me? What do you think? I cannot even explain to you how many questions I ask. I ask so many questions. And God is very patient and explains everything to me. This is helping me with learning, understanding the situation, and positioning myself right. I'm going to stop now because it's 32 minutes. God is pointing to me to say other things, but it's 32 minutes and it won't upload if I make it longer. I still have that video about portals and animals, which is 55 minutes, and it's not uploaded because I don't know how to upload it. It just gets stuck somehow. So I ask a lot of questions. When I get the divine guidance, I ask a lot of questions so I will understand how that happened. So I will be able to recognize that situation when it happens again, you know. And also, for me personally, asking questions and learning about that situation is healing, because I get to understand why you hate me. Why you hate me so much, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it now. I will see you in the next video, and I will see what God wants me to say. I will say it in the next one. Okay, please bounce back. Doesn't matter what they did to you, just bounce back. Know that God is there. God will adjust the situation, will adjust the strategy. God will teach you new things to do. God will give you new gifts, and God will move you to a different timeline if they made an embodiment on you, just so you will still win no matter what they did. Okay, and the proof is that I've been doing spiritual fighting since 2018 on my own. Yeah, and they are a whole army against me, and I'm still winning. Yeah, so that proves that I'm not wrong, and that indeed God will always adjust the situation. Yeah.